I know at this time of the year, so many of us are thinking about the new year and what we're going to create in 2020. And we're entering a new decade, so we're thinking about that too. And I'm thinking about that also. And there's more to come about 2020 and what I want you to do and how I want you to treat it. But right now, I like to go back. I like to review because I think that's really impactful. Most people skip that part. They don't look in the rearview mirror. They don't look at the year that they just accomplished. They just move ahead with the next year and pile on the same mistakes that they had last year. In the NFL, when I was a player, an integral part of being a great player in the NFL and an integral part of winning games in the NFL is you constantly are being filmed. Everything you do is being videoed, and back in my day it was being filmed, right? So you always got a chance to review your past performance, whether it was yesterday or whether it was last year or the year before. You're constantly improving on what worked and what didn't work. So I want to do that now with you so that we don't have to drag any mistakes into 2020. Let's take a look back. And I look back at this like I call it a big three. And I'm sure you have a big three too. So let me just give you a couple examples of my big three and then I want to hear from you. Well, the first big three, the first accomplishment that I had this year, it's probably obvious to you who've been following me, is the release of my book, There's No Plan B for Your A Game. So that, obviously nothing can prepare you for your first book. And it became a 7-time bestseller, and nothing can get you ready for all those interviews and all those book signings and all those appearances that have to happen. So that was number one, right? The second of the big three is, and I often tell you guys this, is you got to get outside your comfort zone, right? And so for this whole year, I pretty much lived outside my comfort zone because those of you who know me, I don't go to a lot of parties. I leave those parties for Dawn to go to. But when you're promoting a book, you have to be out there. You have to be out there in front of people, meeting people, shaking hands, and getting your book in front of people so that people buy it. That was leaving my comfort zone completely, right? And just the fact writing a book that I've never written. So I've never authored a book before. So that took a couple years to do that. So I lived outside my comfort zone. Then the promotion of the book, same thing. I'm asking you to do the same. So that's my second of the big three. And the third would be the success of the family, watching the family shine, watching Dawn have to step out of her comfort zone because she's never known how to promote a book, how to sell a book. And this book became a 7-time bestseller. So she obviously did a great job of doing that, but she didn't know how and had to get out there, reach beyond her comfort zone, beyond her current capacity, and make it happen. Also the kids, Axel was the quarterback of his middle school football team. It's their first undefeated season. It was the first year that Axel ever started at quarterback. So it was huge to watch him develop in those ways. Eloise got to go spend some time with a award-winning pastry chef and wake up at 4 a.m. and learn how to make these pastries and learn that it's not all glamour when you're making pastries, that you got to wake up 4 a.m. covered in powder in the bakery, working your butt off. And then Lila with her dance and with her high jump, just watching her develop over this year has been amazing. But if I don't look back on these things, I can't go forward the way I want to go forward. Those are my big three. What are yours? I want to hear them. I want you, whatever social media you're on with me right now, post it. Let me know what your big three are. And then we can all begin this new year like we want to begin it, with some resolve, with some health, with acknowledging and celebrating what we just did so that we can go forward into 2020 with huge successes. Let me hear your top three. Let me hear your big three.